Thank you for staying with us. Now, a 64-year-old retired lecturer of Dr. Hilaliman Technical University, Stephen Money, has died after he was hit by a stray bullet allegedly fired as a result of a scuffle over a parcel of land. Four other persons who were also not part of the dispute were also hit by the bullets and are in critical condition at the Wa Municipal Hospital. The suspect, Al-Haji Musa Abdul Rahman, was later apprehended by the Wa police and is helping in the investigation. JoyNews Upper West correspondent went to the suspected crime scene and now reports.
Rather usual, busy, but quiet street located few meters away from the Wa Snit flat and opposite the Frames fuel station turned bloody Thursday afternoon. 5 persons who had no connection with the alleged family land dispute and head in opposite directions of the road were allegedly hit by stray bullets.
When they went to the local Cinco, or the scene of crime, they met a young man by name Abdul Yunusa, aged 61 years, at the local Cinco. Now he is with the police, whilst investigation is underway. Primarily investigations that we had means that there was a scuffle on land or land issue among the family or between the two. But we can't base on that until investigation proves otherwise. So we are investigating the issue.
Persons who were closer to the scene of the incident, upon hearing the sound of the pump action gun, allegedly took to their heels, including this private security person.
I fear their gun. When I stay the pole, I'll fear them. That's why I didn't go to funeral every time. I fear the gun. When the gun pull, I fell down. This I go to far away before they make the gun.
One of the 5 persons was allegedly hit by a stray bullet and pronounced dead on arrival at the Wa Municipal Hospital was retired lecturer of the Dr. Hilaliman Technical University, Stephen Money. Stephen Money, on retirement, also operated a drinking bar about 400 meters away from the scene of the incident. Teary-eyed Precious could not believe his ears when news about the passing of his grandfather was told to him by a friend.
I say I can't believe what has happened. I thought it was all just like, because those guys, we are all just guys. So I said, okay, let me just pick bike and get there and see what has transpired there. So that the people were digging a foundation, or it's foundation there. So that, like, they have land issue. So all of a sudden they started shooting guns and he was shot was shot there. So that was what has happened.
His colleague lecturer at the university, James Dugra, is yet to come to terms with what has transpired.
Mr. Mane was a very lovely lecturer. He was taking charge of shorthand and whatever. In fact, he's a very calm person. And this sad news, I think that the due process of the law must take place so that it will make all of us rest. We are now all living in fear because daytime shooting is not the best. Whether it was a warning shot or whatever, but it shouldn't be pointed at a very calm person like that. He just went on retirement, yet he was sacrificing to come and take the people through because his subject area is not easy to get somebody to replace him. So he is still our colleague, our senior colleague, and in fact, it's a very sad moment for everybody.
The other 4 victims who were hit by the stray bullet had various degrees of injuries on various parts of their bodies. One of them required an emergency surgery to remove pellets and also to arrest inbleeding of the blood. 19-year-old level 100 student of Simon Diedon Dombo University of Business and Integrated Development Studies, Irason Hamad, is one of the 4 sufferers. He told me what transpired.
My mom said I'll go for my course registration. So when I was coming, this man was standing and he was shooting some other men. So when I saw that he was shooting from where I was coming from, so I parked the motorbike and I wanted to run. So when I was running, he faced me, like he pointed a gun at me. So he shot my hand. So like I was also wearing a black pullover, so I was still running. So I went and jumped over a wall and I was going. At that moment I couldn't feel that there was something in my body. But a woman came and asked me to stop running. So when I stopped, I could feel that my arm became a little bit heavier. So when I removed the jacket to see, I saw that there was a bullet in my hand and I was wearing my jeans too, and I saw that another one entered my thigh.
According to the police, they have started investigations on the issue and will get to the bottom of the matter. Meanwhile, the remains of the 64-year-old former lecturer of the Dr. Hila Liman Technical University has been deposited at the Wa Hospital morgue pending autopsy. Rafiq Salam's report from Wa.
Let's stay in the Upper West region. Rafiq Salam joins me via phone with more on the story. Now, Rafiq, can you tell us what exactly led to the scuffle?
We are told by the police that there was an alleged scuffle on a parcel of land located on around the Western flats. Our initial information is indicating that there is a family land from the Kabanya clan, and which was ceded to one of the factions. And in this case, one Alaji Inusa, 61-year-old. From the information that we had, he was trying to develop the land, put up stores in that particular area when some people from the same family also came around to attack him. So in his defense, he tried to give one shot, and then also he fired indiscriminately, leading to the death of the 64-year-old former lecturer and 4 others who were injured and are still at the Wa Municipal Hospital.
Now, tell us about the 4 injured. How are they faring?
They are now, according to doctors, they are doing well at the municipal hospital. Yesterday, one of them was taken to the theater to remove a pellet and also to prevent him bleeding. And so I'm told that they are doing well at the hospital.
Okay, and have you been speaking to the police? What have they been saying?
The police are saying that they have started an investigation on the issue. Preliminary investigations showed that it's a scuffle of a family land, and also the gun also used, allegedly used to fire, was a pump action gun belonging to one 61-year-old Alaji Inusa, otherwise known as Urams.
Thank you very much. That's Upper West Regional Correspondent Rafiq Salam giving us an update on that story. Let's do other stories now, because former Finance Minister Setekpa has dismissed suggestions that dollarization of the economy is to blame for the country's current economic challenges. Ghana's cedi continues to see significant depreciation over the past couple of weeks, a situation many argue is attributable to the dollarization of the economy, spike in petroleum products, and its attendant effect on the prices of general services and goods have all been attributed to the overall dollarization of Ghana's economy. But Setekpa thinks otherwise. He's been giving reasons when he featured on the AM show this morning.
The whole world depends on the American dollar. As we speak, Russia, mighty Russia, may default on account of the financial sanctions that has been put.
But just to interject, they will not default because they don't have the money, but of what they've called artificial, an artificial manipulation, because then they will not be able to raise the sort of sums from the banks that have been affected. So it's not that they don't have the money, but
yes, but the point you are making is about the importance of the dollar. And so the Russian economy is a strong one, right? And why is it that, as it's been suggested, that fear is still there, even though they have said that they could settle their, commitments in rubles, right? And that is precisely because of the strength of the dollar. So I'm only giving you a comparison that stronger economies also bow to the dollar. Even oil-producing economies bow to the dollar. And that is on account of a country managing its wealth. Its finances well, right? Such that, they are able to capture the growth and make the dollar the currency of choice. So I'm afraid those arguments, 2 reasons. First of all, we are in a crisis. Yes, that is very important. That is a long-term solution. We have been, since 1970s, attempting to get a West African currency, the ECO. We have not been able. Let's face reality. I think we should be talking candidness now. We have not been able to meet the criteria the West African economies put together to come in with an eco we could support, the cities. So we have the dollar, and we know it, and you know that you have to face it, and that is why you must take measures, to manage your expenditures so that you can support the dollar component of it. Yes, we can have that discussion, but the point I'm making now is that discussion which has been thrown into the debate now will not help us get out of the crisis, because rather like Russia, we cannot use the cedi to settle, some of those expenditures. So how do we get the dollar? That is the question facing it. Secondly, remember that this government in particular criticized other governments when they had one oil field, when we had Tarek bearing, when we had Single Spine taking so much, when indeed, we had a situation with gas supply. We coined one word, and they were keen on it, doing some to describe that situation, and not excusing the government. Did not excuse the government, did not give room. Everything was said to be. What has changed? They had 2-3 oil fields, as I said. So it isn't as if they did not have revenue. They had 200 million US dollars balance to pay off the bond as we speak. I doubt if there will be anything to meet the zero coupon bond in 2025. That's the sort of performance. They had ESLA, which should have cleared, the arrears. You can Google for yourself. In January 2017, it was admitted that there was enough money to pay for the energy sector debt, contractors and the rest from ESLA. What happened? That money was turned into, the flows were turned into a bond, the money received in advance. We did not make those expenditures. And again, we come back, we can repeat it. The World Bank is telling us that our situation, and I wish the World Bank itself had told us this. But there is this clarification coming, because remember the World Bank president, when we wanted debt forgiveness, said, come for debt suspension. You're a middle income country. And we didn't get it during COVID, after the 5 billion. So I'm saying that we have current situations. That is one. How are we going to pay wages?
A major economic challenge most people are feeling the most is the increase in petroleum products, with many demanding reductions in levies tied to the product. But is Ghana the only country with the hike in petroleum prices? Well, let's share some information from the global petroleum prices and see where we stand in Africa. All right, so increasing fuel prices. Okay, so petrol and diesel prices in selected African countries. So this is diesel price per litre, $1 per litre. Ghana is sitting at a little bit over $1.6 per litre. And Nigeria is sitting at a little over $0.6 per litre for diesel. And Mali coming in third, we're sitting at exactly $1 per litre. Niger with a little under $1 per litre. Then we have Ivory Coast with a little over $1 per litre. And we have Burkina Faso, and it's sitting between 0.8 and $1 per litre. Let's go to Togo now, our neighbors Togo, and they are sitting at $0.8 per litre. And then Benin and Liberia are sitting at $1 per litre. We have Chad sitting between 0.8 and 1 per litre, and Sierra Leone sitting at $1. This is diesel prices per litre at $1 per litre. Let's go to Cameroon. Cameroon is sitting a little under $1, and Guinea is sitting a little over $1, with Senegal also just a bit below $1. All right, so let's go to petrol prices. Now let's do some petrol prices, and petrol prices per litre. Let's see, with Ghana being number one, $1.6 per litre. Nigeria being the lowest with $0.4. We have Mali sitting between $1 and $1.2. We have Niger, and they're sitting a little under $1, and we have Ivory Coast. Ivory Coast is sitting a little over $1 with Burkina Faso following just a little bit. Then we have Togo. Togo is also the second last, nearly the least, is sitting between 0.8 and $1, and we have Benin sitting exactly at $1 per litre. We have Liberia and Chad sitting at a little over $0.8, and we have Sierra Leone, Cameroon sitting a little above $1, and Guinea also sitting between $1 and $1.2 per litre. And the last one is Senegal, and Senegal seems to be the second highest, and they are sitting between $1.2 and $1.4 per litre. Now, petrol and diesel prices in selected African countries. Let's see. Okay, so this is petrol and diesel compared. Ghana is leading, obviously, with 1.6 for petrol and a little over 1.6 for diesel. Nigeria, still being the lowest, is 0.4. So this is like a side-by-side comparison of petrol and diesel. And Nigeria is at 0.4 with the petrol and the diesel sitting at 0.6, a little bit over 0.6. Let's go to Mali. Mali is sitting a little over a little bit over $1, and that's for petrol. For diesel, is sitting at 1. Now with Niger is the same for petrol and diesel, and that's a little below $1. And for Ivory Coast, the petrol is a little over $1, and the diesel follows as such. Burkina Faso, a little bit over $1 for petrol, and a little bit, so between 0.8 and $1 for diesel. Togo is sitting at 0.8, a little over 0.8 actually, and a little bit over 0.8 for both petrol and diesel. And Benin, for both petrol and diesel, sitting at 1, and it's the same thing with Sierra Leone, that they're sitting at 1. And if you go to Cameroon, Cameroon is sitting a little bit over $1, and for petrol, and for diesel, a little under $1. Guinea is sitting at the same place for petrol and diesel, and that's between $1 and $1.2. And the last one is Senegal. Senegal, the petrol is sitting at 1.2, well, between 1.2 and 1.4, and the diesel is just below, between $1 and $1.2 per litre. Now, let's get onto the phone and speak with Professor John Katsi, who is an economist and financial expert. Good morning, sir, and thank you so much for your time. Good morning, sir, and thank you so much for your time.
Good morning. Thank you for having me. I must indicate your voice is very, very low.
You must indicate that
your voice is very, very low.
All right. Is it better now?
Yeah, it's better.
All right. So to what extent can the dollar be blamed for what the country is currently experiencing?
Well, that will depend on the weight of its contribution to the pricing of fuel prices as we have in the country. I believe we are all aware that the level of depreciation, the crude oil price internationally, and the taxes that we impose on our fuel, that determines the price. So if, for example, there is a very erratic depreciation, then it may mean that the weight of depreciation may be contributing more to the pricing. So I believe that is what we need to look at. But as we speak now, it is not only the depreciation. We also saw prices of crude oil went up. It's only, I think, yesterday or a day before yesterday that there is some reduction somehow. So I believe multiple factors are contributing to the level of fuel prices that we have in the country. So
now,
if you ask to what extent, I will only say that because depreciation had become erratic, so its influence it become more sensitive.
Now, okay, so how is this linked to the cost of fuel in the country in general?
Yeah, that's what I explained earlier on, that we have our pricing formula, and depreciation is part of it, you know. If your currency is depreciating, it means you need more of your currency to import crude oil into the country or the refined product into the country. So that goes into the cost, and for that matter, the price builds up. So it's very sensitive to pricing of fuel in the country.
Okay, now let's look for a way forward. What options are available for Ghana to explore?
In terms of the depreciation?
Yeah. Like, so what can we do? What can the country do? Or the people in leadership?
Yeah, I think, first of all, we need to recognize that we have multiple factors affecting the strength of our currency.
Yeah.
If you appreciate that, then we categorize them into demand and supply. So if we take supply, for example, of foreign currency that is supposed to support the performance of the currency, then we ask ourselves, how much foreign currency are we generating? What should we do to be able to generate much more foreign currency to protect our city?
Yeah.
How much reserves do we keep? Minimum. What do we do to get that component of the reserve that we need in order to protect the currency? Then we propose policies to address those issues. We come to the demand side. What are the things that are putting pressure on the demand for foreign currency for depreciation takes place within a cycle?
Yeah.
Then we begin to put in place policies to deal with that. And the most annoying aspect of the demand side is that most of the agricultural produce that we have the ability to produce, we are importing them.
Yeah.
We are importing produce which our industrial policy should have been addressing. So we need to be questioning our agricultural policy, whether they are potent or they are distant away from supporting monetary policy and the rest. So for me, that is how I will look at it. But I must also admit that these are not immediate solutions. But we need to put a roadmap to follow medium term to long term. We say these things over and over, which means that we are not able to start anything that will define the roadmap. So if we are able to do that assessment and know which part of the agricultural policy, trade policy will be helping to support the management of the currency, then we focus on that. And to the medium term as to the long term, perhaps we'll be seeing some signs. But it seems to me that is not how we are going about this. There is some misconception that Bank of Ghana has all it takes to manage the currency. No monetary policy or currency management regime will be sustainable if it is not supported by other policies within the framework of managing the economy. So that is what I will propose.
So while we're waiting for a roadmap, what do the citizens do? They just wait, and what do they do?
Well, what they do is what we are seeing. They will be experiencing the effect of depreciation because we don't have a robust approach to deal with it. If you ask people, some will suggest the Bank of Ghana should pump money. Who told you the Bank of Ghana has not been pumping money before we got to this point? So you could see clearly that that is not sustainable. So for now, until we put our hands on the field, do what we are supposed to do, we will continue to experience some of these challenges.
All right. Thank you very much. That is Professor John Gatti, and he is a financial expert and an economist. Let's do other stories here, because there is a major flood alert for residents along the Odo drainage basin here in Accra as it emerges that improper waste disposal and encroachment on buffer zones by squatters are hampering the progress of ongoing dredging in the canal. Government in 2019 re-engaged Dredge Masters, a subsidiary of the Jospon group of companies, to dredge some 10 kilometers of the choked basin, which was identified as a major cause of perennial flooding in Accra. But after completing 4 phases of the exercise, the basin is fast becoming re-choked by plastic and other waste materials from the city. Manal Kranting reports.
So this is the lagoon. This is the upper lagoon. We're from the lower lagoon. This is the upper lagoon.
That is Works and Housing Minister Francis Asensubuachi inspecting ongoing dredging sites along the Odo Drain.
What you see back there under phase 2, we had opened it up further behind to allow for a lot of holding of the water and to allow for ease of flow. But then activities of these squatters, they dump waste, sawdust, they are trying to put up structures. So they use the sawdust to reclaim and narrow the channel.
This is phase 5 of the project, which was awarded in 2019 to Dredge Masters, a subsidiary of the Jospon group of companies. It is expected to mitigate the incidence of flooding in the capital. As work proceeds on the upper and lower sections of the Korle Lagoon, there are concerns that completed dredging works at the previous site are being undone. Sena Adiepena is operations manager.
After completion of the phase 4, under that scope, which starts from the Caprice Bridge down to the confluence, it was clean. And then we realized that a lot of the debris and silt from upstream was gathered down here. And that's what we're seeing behind us. Now, a lot of this indiscriminate disposal of waste has flown downstream. As it stands now, in Siotoa, it's silted. We need to go back there.
Beyond the heavy plastic pollution is the activities of squatters who are encroaching the buffer zones along the canal.
The squatters are posing a real challenge because, first of all, they are throwing the waste they generate back into the drain. So if you go upstream where we have completed, it's as though we haven't done anything, all because a lot of debris has been poured into the drain. You could see people sweeping into the drain. If you go upstream right now, you will see structures so close to the banks, putting their waste in there, sweeping into it. At the same time, the access for equipment to...
The Works and Housing Minister says collaboration efforts are underway with other ministries to holistically respond to the menace.
We are collaborating actively. In fact, the Gary project has a big component on education on waste management and resettlement of people along the banks, who are actually one of the main reasons why we have these waste there, because they keep on dumping all their solid waste into the drainage channel.
Meanwhile, he says the ministry is concluding arrangements to begin awarding contracts under the World Bank-funded Greater Accra Resilient and Integrated Development Garrett project. Manal Kranting, JoyNews, Accra.
Some members of the governing New Patriotic Party in Kwadaso constituency have obtained an injunction to prevent the party from holding polling station election in the constituency. The plaintiffs Abu Mahama and Kofi Abrefa also seek the court to annul the recent election and allow for fresh polls to be conducted. They say the exercise was marred by violations of the party constitution. Mohammed Nuruddin reports.
My name is Abu Mahama, a member of the New Patriotic Party at Kwadaso. Recently we have an election, but the elections were not conducted in accordance with our constitution. So I petitioned region and furthered it to national. They called the case, but the way the judgment was passed was not what needed to be done. But I know maybe their hands are tied. But as somebody who believes in the law and knows that the courts are there to settle issues that cannot be settled within the party, so I've taken a legal action against the party.
The Kwadaso constituency of the New Patriotic Party has witnessed a series of agitation in the past weeks. Frustrated members accused the party's leadership of plans to deny them the opportunity to contest the polling station election. Two of the aggrieved members have taken legal action against the party.
I want to stand to fight the system and make sure that the system do what is right. Otherwise, if we continue like this, it will be chaos for us in the near future, which I think will not be good for us. That's why we want the law to work. Let the law work. If the devil become even the leader, the devil cannot work because he will work according to the rule. That is what I want. I don't want anything. I want the constitution of our party to be followed. That is all.
They say the election did not follow due process.
I think for now this is the only way, because this is what happened. This is what happened when the problem came. I didn't rush to the court. I petitioned the election committee. I then went on to petition the constituency executive committee. I went to the region to petition them. I went to a national call. So when national called and said that they were mandated by NEC to sit on the case, and they called the election committee chairperson, Honorable Gifty Ohini Kunedu, and she looked into their face and said that yes, well-organized elections were conducted in Kwadaso. Meanwhile, nobody voted. Nobody. So if this one happens in the party and they cannot talk about it, I know the law courts are there. When we came here, the chairman was saying, oh, Monfanko, we will do what we want to do. You can go to the court. We don't care. We are in power. But I don't think even though we are in the power, we don't control the courts. But he thinks we control them. But I know very well that the court will provide justice that we are looking for, not why he is sitting here saying.
The Kwadaso constituency executives who received the writ have declined to comment on the matter. The Kumasi High Court has set April 4, 2022 to begin sitting on the matter. A report by Mohammed Nuruddin.
The overlord of Mamprogu and president of the Northeast Regional House of Chiefs, Na Wahagu Abdullah Mahama Sheriga, has condemned the activities of a group of religious preachers who are operating camps dedicated to exposing witchcraft. The overlord has described such activities as obnoxious acts that must not be tolerated anywhere in the traditional area. Speaking at the annual Regional House of Chiefs meeting held in the capital, Nalirugu, Na Bohagu cautioned all his chiefs to desist from any form of cooperation with these preachers. The overlord has also expressed concern over the increasing spate of robbery attacks. Ilyasu Tanko reports.
The annual meeting provided yet another opportunity for the overlord to meet with his chiefs to deliberate on critical issues happening or affecting the traditional area. Members present were the chief of Bankoni, the Chirponi Femi, the Yunyo Rana, the Pib Rana, vice president of the house, the Sonaba, and representatives of the Wunaba and the chief of family. The chief of Nakanduri, who was also absent but due to ill health, sent his apologies through his brother, the chief of Bankoni. There was, however, no word from the Wulgu Naba as well as the Bumpurgu Naba, who were both absent. At the request of the overlord, a moment of silence was observed in remembrance of two members of the house who are no more. The house prayed for peace for the souls of the chief of Kurgu and Bani. In his address, the overlord, through his senior-most elder Mbawuni Tarana, touched on several issues confronting the region.
Ladies and gentlemen, on the issue of security, I am happy to state that Mamprogu, and for that matter Northeast region, has been relatively peaceful, and I wish to take this opportunity to commend the various security agencies for maintaining law and order, but would like to caution that they need to collaborate with the traditional rulers to be able to achieve to maintain its objectives.
He, however, raised a strong concern over the increasing activities of armed robbers in the region.
The issue about armed robbery in the country and the Northeast region in particular is not only a nightmare to me, but a mind-boggling. I therefore entreat our security services to intensify their patrols and surveillance to curb the menace. Only last night, Mr. Minister or Rep, Natoma, ladies and gentlemen, a report reaching me indicate that an attack by armed robbers was carried out on one of the businessmen in Alergo.
The Overlord also expressed his appreciation to the government for the several development projects currently ongoing across the region. Another issue that attracted the strong attention of the Overlord was the proliferation of one-man churches and prayer camps operated by some pastors, whose activities are increasing witchcraft allegations and persecutions in the region.
I wish to serve a caution to some of our so-called pastors and malams who have become recalcitrant and have made it a business by identifying witches and wizards, and also make them tin gods without recourse to the laws of the country, and that such pastors and malams should desist from such obnoxious behaviors. Chiefs should not collaborate or provide a platform for such recalcitrant pastors and malams.
A representative of the regional minister thanked the House of Chiefs for preventing a spillover of the Boko conflict. He also emphasized his commitment to working with the chief at all times for the collective good of the region. He appealed for the intervention of the chiefs to stop the depletion of the forest cover and to the House to consider codifying the succession of the various kings to minimize chieftaincy disputes in the region. He concluded by calling on the chiefs to intensify collaborations with the security services to effectively fight against the robbery menace in the region.
Now, President, the spate of armed robbery in the region gives cause to worry. The number of these armed attacks is on the increase. I have strong conviction that there is some amount of complexity of both indigenous and persons of Fulani extraction in the commitment of this dangerous crime. The time to act is now.
Elias Sutanko reporting for JoyNews.
A first-year nursing student at the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, Barikisu Ibrahim, is among 4 girls who won the Maiden Ambassador for a Day competition organized by the British High Commissioner. There's more in the story.
The 4 winners were chosen from hundreds of young women aged 16 to 19 from across the country to spend a day with the High Commissioners of the United Kingdom, Australia, Canada, and Ambassador of France. Speaking at the event, the British High Commissioner, Harriet Thompson, explained the rationale for the Ambassador for a Day initiative. According to her, her outfit is committed to tackling gender-based issues across the African continent.
The British government has decided to dedicate the whole of the month of March to looking at issues of gender equality across the continent of Africa. So the High Commission here in Accra is hosting and organising a series of events throughout March that seek to promote women and girls in Ghana and to promote issues of gender equality around education, health and so on. And the Ambassador for a Day competition is one of the things that we're most excited about because it gives young women such as Maish here an opportunity to experience what will be quite a different life for a day. I'm really looking forward to hearing her opinions, her thoughts about not only gender issues here in Ghana, but what she thinks about things that are happening in the world more widely at the moment.
One of the awardees, Barikisu Ibrahim, tells JoyNews how she intends to embark on a project to create awareness about infant and child mortality.
I have the interest in taking care of children, most especially in financially low homes, because the rate of child mortality and then mortality in women is very high due to financial problems. And so if in a way we're able to create jobs through entrepreneurial skills for them, they will be able to earn something for themselves in order to prevent such problems.
The other winners were Feruza Abdullahi, Maish Ibrahim and Dox Atta. National Director of Campaign for Female Education, Comfort Ghana, Sally Yeboah, explained the criteria used in selecting young women for the program.
The criteria was for young women between 16 and 19 years. And then it was also for just open, anyone who would express themselves about all the gender questions that were put out. And then also aspire for an opportunity to spend a day with the ambassador to share their thoughts on what they would do differently or what they would do if they start if they were in those shoes. So these opportunities were circulated to all the groups, the various WhatsApp platforms that the young women are gathered on. And then they did put out their videos. You could either use your local dialect, your local language, anything that we're careful about not excluding anyone. And so that's how come we got entries into this and are now seeing the 4 of them come through the program.
The British High Commission intends to extend the initiative to solving mental health issues affecting women. Mausi Numon's report read to you.
You're still watching JoyNews Desk. Up next is business.
Time now for business. I am Beverly Broom. The British Council of Ghana is urging all graduate British universities to return home, build networks, and support the socio-economic development of the country. This is part of the Alumni UK Agenda, a new global network for people from around the world who have studied in the UK and to support their growth of their respective countries. There's more in this report.
The Africa Cyber Security Expert Community Kickoff meeting was on the theme Setting the Scene for Cyber Security Status in Africa. It was aimed at attracting private sector support from the African Union member nations in dealing with the threat of cybercrime on the continent. Addressing the opening ceremony, the Deputy Minister for Communications, Amapoma Boateng, assured that Ghana is making efforts to collaborate effectively in supporting the fight against cybercrime.
Cybercrime is a transborder issue, and we need an interoperable system, legislations, and criminal justice procedures to better cooperate and respond to the issues through incident reporting, information sharing, investigations, and prosecutions. I therefore urge other African countries to ratify the Malibu Convention in order to make the convention operable. Ghana stands ready to support, collaborate, and most importantly, learn from other African states as we work together to secure Africa's digital ecosystem.
The Acting Director General of the Cyber Security Authority, Dr. Albert Enchiboisiako, explained that this meeting is critical to the continent, hence needs the support of all stakeholders.
Ghana is seen as a model in terms of the structures, the system that we are implementing. Remember, we've just passed the Cybersecurity Act, we've set up a cybersecurity institution. These are the models that other African countries are looking to also implement. Therefore, they came here. We are more than 150 experts across the African continent gathered here, also to learn from what we are doing. That is really information sharing and experience sharing as well. And we are happy to play this central role, working with our partners. I believe my other colleague will also be able to throw more light on the essence of this collaboration. But Ghana is really has been chosen because of the effort we've made within the last few years. And I think we should look forward and really bring the African together. This is no different from what Kwame Nkrumah started doing. I think we are on course, and we need the citizens on board to support this direction.
Member countries are expected to give an overview of the cybersecurity situation in their various countries and the way forward in the fight against the menace.
It's time for sports with my favorite person, Muftau. Oh, it's time for sports with my favorite person, Muftau. Nabila Abdullahi.
Now take 5.
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm all right, thank you. What is in the world of sports today?
Well, the World Cup qualifiers between Ghana and Nigeria. It is happening at the Royal Sports Stadium on March 25. The government have agreed to some concessions. They've said that Team Nigeria will not undergo any COVID test at the airport.
Okay.
They've agreed that because the Nigerians had complained that it's quite tedious going through the COVID process at the airport, they will not go through the COVID testing at the airport. So government have said that the team will fly straight to the Kotoka International Airport after they reach an agreement with the Ghana Airports Company, so that they will fly straight to Kumasi for the game. And also, government has also agreed that they will give Nigeria 5% of the capacity of Baba Yara. That means that about 2,000 spectators. However, they've also made available 1,000 complimentary tickets for officials of the team.
Okay.
So in total, Nigerians will have about 3,000 tickets to watch the game between the Super Eagles and the Black Stars of Ghana. And the final one.
Okay.
You have asked
before you get to the final one. Yes. So because Nigerians find it tedious, that's what they say, to test, we will put our Black Stars or Black Star players at danger. I don't get it.
Okay. So this is it. This is it.
First of all, wait. Before you answer my question, they're all vaccinated. Do we know if they're all vaccinated? That we
cannot tell. But
we need to find out.
But the point is this: CAF and FIFA have got their standard testing.
Okay.
What the government of Ghana has agreed to is that when you get to the airport, we will not test you before you pass. That's what the government of Ghana has agreed. But in your team hotel, CAF and FIFA standard testing will be done.
Okay.
So it is the officials who will now go to the hotel and test the players and their officials and all that. But at the airport, the mandatory arrival that you go to the COVID process and all that. No, so we're not going to do that. So that's what the government has agreed. And you know what? Some of these things had to happen before the match was moved to Bawaya. So that is basically it. So you scratch my back, I scratch
your back. Okay, thank you very much for that.
Thanks for having me.
Up next is TikTok. And it's time for TikTok. Kobe Spike and Kurma joins me. What do we have in the world of tech?
A lot, unfortunately, but no time.
Okay.
Number one, MGM, you know, Metro Goldwyn Mayer.
Yeah.
The company that...
The Roaring Lion.
Yeah. Is now part of Amazon.
I see. So,
Amazon bought MGM for a record amount. Guess how much they bought it for?
500 billion.
Hey, that's plenty, but that's not how much it is.
That's how much?
8.54 billion.
Hey, that's not... Hey.
That's a lot of money. 8.54 billion.
Okay, it's a lot.
Yeah.
It's just that, you know, when you have that type of money in your bank account, it's not a lot to you. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
yeah, sorry.
Apologies.
Okay, 8.54 billion.
Yes, $8.54 billion. They bought a whole Metro Goldwyn Mayer. And guess what? The James Bond franchise itself alone cost $7 billion.
Oh, hectic.
Yes. So James Bond is coming to Amazon Prime.
I see.
Yeah, that's what it is. And Google is tweaking the Play Store to make it better for tablets and folding phones.
Okay, how?
So, you know, folding phones and tablets have not exactly been the focus for Android.
Yeah.
So it's basically the mobile version that's been scaled up, but now it's making it, you know, it's making an effort to make it that the interface is more suited for tablets and foldable phones, basically larger screen devices. Now moving on from Android 13, right now we're on Android 12. Android 13 promises to seek your permission before sending notifications. So right now, if you look at my phone, I have so many notifications on my phone, you know. Now, applications need to ask permission from the user.
But isn't that the case? Like, hasn't that always been the case? For example...
On your iOS.
Oh, yes. On my iOS, sorry.
You've had that for a while.
Okay.
But with Android, all notifications are shown. Now, apps have to ask your permission to display notifications on your phone. So, which is good, because then you can choose which notifications you want to see on your phone. And yeah, I think that's it's good because you guys have had that for a long time.
Yeah.
But now we're getting it on Android. And I'm excited.
Okay, so am I. I'm excited. It's also a Friday, but I'm not excited. I'm sad to leave you guys. But here's the thing. You can go to myjoyonline.com for more stories. I am Mapito CBD. Enjoy the rest of your afternoon and have a fantastic, fantastic weekend.